Guide Dogs for the Blind logo. A young man and guide dog.
The instructor handed me the leash.
Sit on a beach.
And it was love at first touch, because as soon as I reached for the leash and grabbed his head, I fell in love.
The team now out on the sidewalk.
Oslo, this 70-pound of lab energy, was just ready to take me in and, love me to pieces. It was very magical.
They cross a city street.
My name is Belo Cipriani, and I lost my vision back in 2007.
Back home.
I was 26. It was 2 months shy of my 27th birthday.
Photos of a younger Belo.
My cause of blindness is retinal detachment. It took me a couple years to get over the grief of losing my sight. And I was grieving the loss of my job, the loss of my friends. And it was very hard. There was times where I really struggled with, getting out of bed, doing very simple tasks.
The team out and about.
When I got my first guide dog, my life changed tremendously. It changed in every imaginable way. Just from getting to a place much quicker, walking down the street faster. I could dart to my friend's house down the block and get there in minutes. I couldn't do that with a cane.
He types on a computer.
The big effect of me losing my sight was really finding something that I was passionate about.
Oslo rest in harness.
This may sound bizarre, but if I hadn't lost my sight, I wouldn't be a writer, and I love being a writer.
Belo in a martial arts class.
I also train capoeira, which is an Afro-Brazilian martial art. And outside my walking around with Oslo, I want to work out and keep in shape, and so that's important to me.
He does a cartwheel, sparring with another student.
There's this misconception of covering your eyes with a blindfold or with your hands, and that's what it's like to be blind. And I think that's just a little glimpse.
The team leaves home.
Because then you always know you could take it off. And that's what blindness is. It's not to be able to take it off. That moment of frustration, of panic.
They walk down the hall.
Of anxiety. Blindness has those moments.
Now out on the street.
And so that's really what blindness is. Learning not just to be without sight, but the emotions behind it.
They navigate a crosswalk.
There are 3 basic skills to being an independent blind person. There's, reading, and then there's adaptive equipment, and then there's your mobility. And to me, that's the one where I put the most emphasis. And by far, Guide Dogs for the Blind has the most assistance, than any other school in the country. And that automatically put them on the top of my list.
An instructor works with clients and their guide dogs.
Guide Dogs for the Blind creates these amazing partnerships between blind people and their guide dogs. It's part magic. It's part formula because there's a lot of training involved.
Instructors train dogs outdoors.
There's an intuition that they have that's needed to have these teams bond and become fruitful partnerships.
On campus, a man plays with his guide dog.
The magic begins with the puppy raisers.
A young woman with a puppy.
These people are volunteers, and these people are the first phase of the puppy's life.
Puppies romp in a play area.
They bring them into their homes at about 8 weeks, and they socialize them, and they, housebreak them. What it creates are these amazing guide dogs who are able to manage high-stress situations, and all that is thanks to the puppy raisers.
Oslo guides Belo in town.
When I came back and did the 2 weeks program, it was just exactly what I needed. Very comfortable. I felt like I was at a resort somewhere. I didn't have to share my room, very fancy with Wi-Fi, all the latest gadgets. And the instructor-to-student ratio was amazing. There was 2 students per instructor. And the fact that I could customize it to my lifestyle was perfect.
On a college campus.
They even did a simulation with some airport travel, which was just great.
Navigating stairs.
They have 2 campuses, one in San Rafael, California, and a second in Boring, Oregon. They have an alumni organization, which is first class, and they provide a lifetime of support.
Now at GDB.
So, for example, if my dog ever needs, help with something, whether it's training or even veterinary care, whether you live in Miami, Toronto, or even Anchorage, you're not able to make it to their local vet, they will give you money to cover the cost to see your local vet, and that's just amazing.
A dog in GDB's vet clinic.
All of the services Guide Dogs for the Blind provides are completely free. They don't receive any funding from federal or state agency. It all comes from donors.
Names fill the donor wall.
They have this amazing support center, and there is no question too small or too big that they cannot answer.
Staff on the phone.
They're always keeping up to date with what's cutting edge. They have the latest training techniques to just make yourself a better guide dog team.
Belo puts the harness on Oslo.
As a blind person, you're not able to smile across the room, make eye contact. And a guide dog, a service dog, is definitely something that helps break the ice with the public. I think people don't recognize that blind people, before anything else, are people. And, we crave the same things everyone else does. Vision in general denotes the ability to make a connection.
The team on a sidewalk.
I could see with my fingertips, touch something. I could also see things through my mind.
Now sitting on the beach.
However, blindness is a lot more manageable when you have a faithful companion that loves you unconditionally.
They share a hug at sunset. Guide Dogs with the Blind logo.
For more information, visit guidedocs.com or call 1-800-295-4050.
The light fades to black.